that's why I decided like, okay, I'm gonna just like face my life, and whether maybe I'm gonna be caught, whether I'm gonna die in front of the soldiers or whatever, I will try to escape for that freedom.
네, 동무 노동엔 잘하고 있습니까?
네, 반갑습니다.
반갑습니다. It's so cool to meet you, to finally see you here.
Yes.
This is the North Korean defector who taught me all the Korean that I know. And you can follow her on Instagram at North Korean Uni.
So let's do this.
You said this reminds you of your grandma's food.
Yes, yes.
북조선 음식 먹어 있습니다.
Oh.
Well, let me ask you a question. How long have you been here?
Okay, I came here 2012, so 13 years ago.
13 years.
Well, we had to go through 6 months of process, checking whether you are spy or not for 3 months. And then you have 3 months in Hana-won, which is re-education center, learning South Korean culture. So 6 months later, I finally fell free.
So do North Korean spies come here?
I think so.
It must be, yes.
I think so.
Right.
They are trained very precisely.
They thought I was a spy. This might seem like a weird question, but do you ever, not in a political way, but do you ever like miss North Korea?
Of course.
Yeah.
Every day, every second.
Really? Like in what way?
I mean, the way I played with my friends in elementary school or maybe in university, everywhere. I miss my friends and then the places where I lived.
Right.
And then where I had the like games, just like doing physically. So that kind of all the games, that places I and my friends been to.
Well, I think it's interesting because, you know, for a lot of Americans and foreigners in general, when you think of North Korea, like the only thing you think of probably is like a totalitarian dictatorship. But the reality is like, you know, it's a place where just a lot of like normal people live and have their lives, and you know, the food and the culture that you grow up with like becomes part of you in some way. You know, it's like even after you leave, even if you say I don't want to ever be in that country again, you still like you miss it. You know, and just ordinary people in there. Yeah.
So I think that's why I just like speak about North Korea in different ways. Maybe it's important that you bring up the testimonies you have believed in the dictatorship. However, it's also important to deliver the human's story, like individual's story, how they live and what kind of things they are doing in daily life, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There is poverty and worthiness. Everything exists in North Korea too. The thing is, people just on like if you just Google North Korea, Kim Jong-un.
Of course, labor camps. You know, that's the only thing you hear about.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Not much individual stories.
Yeah.
I mean, my uncle was the richest man in my hometown. Spent $10,000 per month, and I have luxury cars. And then, you know, like people behind the curtains share secrets, share drugs, and everything.
Right.
So for me, it's like it's important to deliver different perspectives in North Korea, and also in South Korea. North Korean defectors face the discrimination. Because South Koreans only know the poverty. So they could assume that North Koreans are stupid to survive in this country. So they are from poor country, they don't have much experience of using internet.
It's completely the reverse. For you to have escaped out of North Korea and gotten here, you gotta be the smartest, most energetic people in this whole country.
You need a gun
From my perspective.
to face your life.
Exactly, like how the
You've heard
fuck
of
did you
guns.
do that? I would never have done, I would have stayed in North Korea. Me personally, you know, if I was like, alright.
I think we needed to bring a different perspectives so people have different ideas of North Korean people, and then they are willing to unite with the North Korean people in the future.
And did you go into China first? Yeah.
Yeah, I went through China, Laos, Thailand, but that was my first time to went to China. But most of North Korean defectors actually live there.
In China.
A lot of women are sold to Chinese guys for his baby. When I was young, my parents had divorced and I grew up in a totally different background. So I like tried to myself to fit in that society. So I always doubt myself, why am I
Yeah.
And then majority of people don't accept who you are because they have their own standard. But now, like, it's whatever. I'm so happy. I'm different and I'm extraordinary. And it's like,
Right.
but now, like, I don't need to put in myself to fit in that society.
먼저 드릴게요. 네, 저는 여기 찍어주시면 되고요.
고맙습니다.
네, 맛있게 드세요.
고맙습니다.
What is this?
It's called 감자전. That this is just shared food in North Korea and South Korea.
So this is something you eat in North Korea too.
Because potato is cheaper than rice in North Korea, so
Yeah.
people are able to access to have this potato
Right.
and other stuff.
That's also an interesting thing I was noticing at the North Korean restaurant that I was at. They a lot of the foods are like not meat. You know, it's like bibimbap, tofu rice, or injokbibimbap, artificial meat rice.
All of protein.
I assume it's because it's a cheaper protein source.
Yeah.
Funny, I come to Seoul and I'm just eating North Korean food.
Good.
Wow, look at that. Wow,
Good.
that is so good.
Good.
Yeah.
We have different types of kimchi in Korea. And this is a radish kimchi, and then this is a radish leaf kimchi.
This is like a meal that you would have eaten in North Korea.
But actually, 감자전 is kind of a special food. Oh.
Yeah.
Because you need oil to make it, but to buy oil is quite expensive, so people cannot eat.
Well, if you didn't have oil, then what did you use to cook?
People just without oil, they just cook like grills, like a little bit.
Was there any fat in your diet?
No, there was
No.
no fat because to buy pork is expensive too for ordinary people.
Yeah. And then for you to come from that to this environment, what was that like?
I felt like I'm an alien. So many different stuff. Like I can't count the new stuff that I ever experienced in South Korea.
All of a sudden, like even for me as an American coming here,
Yes.
this is like a hyper futuristic society.
No internet,
Yeah.
no computer.
Right, sure.
I never had abundant food before and like a coffee. I never had a coffee in the past.
Yeah.
Like so many different types of the coffee latte, soy milk, and what?
Did you ever have coffee in North Korea?
Instant coffee from my uncle, rich uncle, but I didn't like it. I couldn't understand why people drink that like a bitter flavor.
So in North Korea, the rich people have instant coffee. But
Only rich people. When I came to South Korea, I explained to people, think about the people in the Columbus era. Just like had a time machine and to come to this society, how would they feel about this new world? It's exactly the same feeling.
or like somebody who's been in prison. That's the other thing I can think of. Like if you've been in prison for 20 years, no contact with the outside world, then all of a sudden you come out, you're like, oh, okay, wow, everything's different.
So far behind the society.
And it must be tough also to readjust to that society because it's like,
It's not easy.
yeah,
I think people only know like how difficult it is to escape.
right.
However, it's more difficult for me to adjust in the new society. Because when you escape, you just like whatever, I'm gonna die for my freedom, whatever it comes, I will take responsibility. It's a short moment, but when you have to live in the country forever, like constantly you have to endure time, like you have to face a lot of differences and you have to endure every time. But it doesn't come right away. But escape, I mean like escape like compare the living in South Korea forever, it's shorter.
Right.
So for me, like to adjust in a new country was harder than escaping itself.
Apart from the coffee, what was the hardest part?
I got a parcel with the job, so many different things on the bread that I never experienced. And the thing in North Korea, you just exchange the packs, like with the vendors. You don't need to put the name on the screen.
Okay.
You have to memorize all the names of the bread, and then you have to get the card from your customer, and then put the names on screen, and then get the payment. Like it's totally different system. and I got fired after 1 month because I didn't memorize all the names of the brand, and I didn't know how to cope with that environment. And I got a chicken restaurant because it was easier. All you have to know is like spicy and non-spicy.
Yeah.
It's not like a tartar pizza bread and sandwich that I've never had before. It's like, spicy chicken and non-spicy chicken. So it was easier for me.
Wait, let me ask another question. How do you speak such good English? like,
I'm still learning, but I think in 2016, 17 was my first year to study. So 8 or 9 months ago, I started learning English, and then I lived in Australia to improve my English, and I lived in LA, in California.
do you feel weird at all going to America, like the evil American, imperialist bastard country?
The thing is, I mean, like, I already lived in Australia, so that experience for me, it's like more shocking than living in LA. I already lived
Right, you got used to it,
Melbourne
yeah.
before LA. The thing is, like, I thought when I was in North Korea, I thought all the people who look like you are American pastors.
Right.
Because that's only the resources and education that
Sure.
we will receive.
So going to Australia was already
Yeah, like all is
more American bastards, yeah. Australian bastards.
Similar
Right.
with American pastors.
Yeah.
And the culture shocking moment was like in South Korea. I mean, in Korea, North Korea is more conservative than people in South Korea. But most of South Korea is quite conservative.
Yeah.
We don't show boobs and we don't wear like
Right.
tic tac like the
So you see all these like half-naked Australians on the
Like,
beach.
yes. They don't even wear the bra. Like, what the heck? You're like, obviously I can see the nipples and like, I couldn't open my eyes. Like, that was culture shocking to me.
Like, what is this crazy
Yes,
country?
yes.
Right, so then you go to LA and you're like, oh, you're used to it.
Yeah, it's like, it's nothing for me now. The LA, when I went to the DMV, the way people work, especially the woman with the like long nail, and then put the fingers on the keyboard very slowly. In Korea, like we have to get done quick.
Oh, yeah. I've noticed that. When you order food in restaurants here, it comes immediately.
Yes.
Which
yes.
to me as an American is shocking. Like in America, you order at a restaurant, waiting 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes sometimes for the food to come. Here, just that.
But it's like a DMV. I shouldn't put my Korean standard in America. However, like that was culture shock. And you know Coca-Cola.
Oh, 미제 제품입니다.
미제 제품.
Yeah.
Like Coca-Cola, we drink just like 500 milliliters of the Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
But in America, like,
Just right.
wow.
Yeah. Everybody here is very, slim and not that many fat people. But of course, in America, I used to be pretty fat too. But it's a natural consequence of living in the system where like portions are huge and it's something you just get used to that environment.
Yes. It's hard to against that environment and society.
Exactly. Yeah. When you were in North Korea, did you have any sense like of what the outside world or Seoul was like?
No. I mean, I escaped for the freedom of expression.
Yeah.
When I was 17, that was my first time to watch South Korean dramas, really, secretly, illegally. But all I wanted was just like expressing myself as a woman, freely to wear what I wanted and have the hairstyles what I want. But in North Korea, there are policies on the street to check what kind of hairstyle, what kind of the fashion style you have. And then if you maybe have a different style, they're gonna catch you and then give you punishment.
Wow.
So it happened to me a lot because I think in North Korea I was also different than any other friends.
Right.
So like I wanted to be like me, not like copy others or wear same clothes. So the police all the time like catch me when I go out. So all I wanted.
Because you had the wrong hair.
Like a long hair or maybe have like earrings, that kind of thing, just like sew my earrings, like little small things, and they catch me, and then sometimes like they beat me.
Right.
And then when I watch Korean dramas, like women are so pretty and astounding. Like, wow, that's all I wanted. Like express myself freely.
So it wasn't like, you didn't feel like, oh, it was, I could eat better or live in a nicer apartment or have freedom or democracy. It was like just hairstyle.
Just hairstyle and then like a fashion style to be just like a freely express myself who I am.
But I mean, in some sense, that is freedom. Like, you know, it is the ability to be who you want to be. It's freedom that made you want to leave, right? And want to come to South Korea.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, when you don't have a freedom of controlling your body, that's what I thought.
Right.
If you cannot control your body, what can you do more in this country? There's no any hope.
Right.
That's why I decided, like, okay, I'm gonna just like face my life. Life is just, you live just only once. And whether maybe I'm gonna be caught, whether I'm gonna die in front of the soldiers or whatever, I will try to escape for that freedom I desire. So that was my thought. So now people ask me like, oh, what was your first impression? Did you know like what's going on outside of North? I have no idea. Like a lot, it's like a brainwashing every time, every day. So just like expressing myself was the only thing that I wanted. Now, like sometimes, like you know, death you can't avoid. Like we are gonna die one day. So sometimes I don't think about death a lot because I already have been between the life and death when I escaped. Like, oh, if I die tomorrow, I mean, like I will be so like satisfied with what I had in this free country.
Yeah.
Because I had more than what I desired in North Korea. Yeah, it's a pretty cool life I had.
And when people talk about like, I guess that sense of being like so close to death, when people here talk about being depressed or stressed, you probably think like, okay,
Oh, man.
well, yeah, try escaping North Korea.
I mean, you have to dare a lot of difficulties. You can't see your family members. Like after 3 years, my escape, I called with my grandma. I wanted to send the money I saved to her, and then the broker didn't pick up after sending the money. And then I had a nightmare for 6 months. Like I cried every night. And then sometimes I woke up because of the sounds of my crying. Like I hardly crying in my dream, and I woke up. You have to dare and you have to face that kind of suffering every time. And then people say that, oh, I'm so depressed, blah blah blah. And I was like, wow, I wish they could live in North Korea just only for a month. How precious life we have right now. But I'm so lucky that I had this kind of experience that I can compare with this new life. So I have my core value, what I have to keep in my life. But I think most of people, they are born with freedom and that kind of choices. So they don't have the comparative standard. But I have it. So I know like what is important for my life. That's why we have to listen other stories, you know. It will help you to grow. It will help you to have your own value in your life.
And you haven't contacted your family, and I guess you can.
No, I can't. My hometown is so far from the Chinese border.
Right.
Wonsan is on the east coast of North Korea. There was no freedom of movement.
Didn't they just build like a new resort there at one time?
Yeah, that was my hometown.
Wow.
It's a beautiful city. That's what I miss. You know, like I used to go to beach, and then sometimes I saw a lot of like people like you know, when I was young. So my dad used to tell me like get married with the Western guy because your daughter, maybe your son, your children will be taller than you. Because they are so tall and
Okay,
big
well,
eyes.
everybody in South Korea is way taller than me, so I'm like, oh, look at these people.
But what that's what we saw, like a lot of tall people,
Yeah.
much taller than North Koreans.
Right.
So I think I grew up, from the very open-minded family background, I guess. So my hometown is beautiful. I wish I could go there. I wish, like before I die. That's my dream.
Listen, you know, things change in the world, and you know, there's always a chance that something might change in North Korea as well in the next decades.
Yeah, I pray afraid for the happening is like a Berlin Wall just collapsed without just
Yeah.
suddenly. So
Stuff happens, you know? Happens all the time in history.
yes, before I die, let me
Yeah.
go to see my friends. Let me go my hometown.
I have to say, these North Koreans, man, they're going around, you literally we were like going around for 20 minutes looking for cash so she could refill this. I'm telling her, like, you don't need to do this for me. I could figure it out. But she's like insisting, I will get cash for you to put you on the subway. Because this idiot American imperialist bastard has no idea. Migunom has no idea what to do.
You know, like I received a lot of love from strangers when
Yeah.
I travel and I live in South Korea, whatever. Like people from all over the world give me that love without condition. So I have to flow that love I received to people.
Well, I do appreciate that.